fake fainting, and grabbing a dead woman's child for a photo op? These are just some of the shocking reasons Diana Ross was booed at her bandmate's funeral. The Supremes were one of the most iconic female vocal groups of all time. With the combined talents of Diana Ross, Florence Ballard, and Mary Wilson, this Motown trio found massive success and fame throughout the 60s. But when Motown founder Berry Gordy decided to make Ross the focal point of the group, it resulted in some major tensions, dramatized in Dreamgirls, the 2006 film based on the Supremes.
So Dana's gonna sing the lead because you like the way she looks.
Ballard resented being pushed aside, and in 1967, when she saw a marquee reading Diana Ross and the Supremes instead of the Supremes, she lost it, yelling at Gordy and Ross. Ballard was fired soon after. Florence Ballard's life after the Supremes was sadly plagued with difficulties. Attempting a solo career, she released 2 solo singles that failed to chart, causing her label ABC to shelve her record. As for her personal life, she married a man named Thomas Chapman, and the couple had 3 daughters before separating. After the separation, Ballard faced serious financial challenges, forcing her to go on public assistance. But then, in 1975, things began looking up. Winning an insurance settlement helped her get back on her feet financially. She also reconciled with Chapman. Best of all, Ballard began performing again. However, in February 1976, she was admitted to the hospital, and just 1 day later, she died from a blood clot in her coronary artery. Florence Ballard was just 32 years old. Taking place at Detroit's New Bethel Baptist Church, Florence Ballard's funeral attracted over 5,000 people. In fact, so many fans and mourners arrived to pay their respects that they spilled out of the church and onto the streets. And while no one knows if Diana Ross was actually invited to the funeral, what is known is how she arrived, in a limousine. In fact, she made such a grand entrance that she was booed by the assembled mourners. Ross's mother was present as her daughter arrived and reportedly looked very upset at the negative reaction. Ross joined Ballard's family in the front pew, sitting next to Thomas Chapman, Ballard's husband. Ross then took Ballard's youngest daughter Lisa from him and sat the child on her own lap. A photographer then snapped a photo of Ross and little Lisa and published it, making it one of the few images from the funeral. When Ross arrived at Florence Ballard's funeral, she was accompanied by 2 male bodyguards. Observers say she let out a sobbing scream as she entered the church, swooning and appearing to faint. The bodyguards then proceeded to carry Ross to the front pew as the other mourners gasped in shock. Writer Mark Bago, who attended the funeral, described what happened to the Village Voice. "I've never seen such a choreographed display of drama in my life. It appeared to be the worst act of mock mourning that I had ever seen. I was awestruck." In what was perhaps a case of life imitating art, Bago went on to say that, in his opinion, Ross had purposely set out to overshadow Ballard and make herself the center of attention, concluding that she wouldn't even allow Florence to be the star of her own funeral. Since her untimely passing, Florence Ballard's talent has been recognized, celebrated, and appreciated in a new light. In an interview last year before her death, fellow Supreme Mary Wilson said that her former bandmate was a great singer, comparing her to the great Etta James. Wilson went on to tell the Vermilion County First newspaper, "Had she lived, she would have been able to really develop that style. I mean, she would be like Aretha Franklin and Etta James today." Ballard may be gone, but her legacy lives on, most notably as the inspiration for the Effie White character in the celebrated award-winning musical Dreamgirls. Dreamgirls, which was inspired by the story of the Supremes, was a smash hit both on Broadway and at the box office. In the 2006 film version of the musical, Effie White was played by Jennifer Hudson, who sang the iconic song "And I Am Telling You." Hudson received the Academy Award for her powerful portrayal of White.